Hi, friends. How are you? I'm Christiana Gaudet, and I am live on my YouTube channel. It's so nice to see you here. Karen, I'm glad you're here. Marion, I'm happy to see you. It's Thursday. That means it is time for our Tarot Topics weekly newsletter recap. We're here every Thursday, and what we do is talk a little bit about the newsletter and what happened in the newsletter this week. And we also do some questions. We do some readings around the newsletter topic. So if you don't receive the Tarot Topics weekly newsletter in your inbox every Wednesday, what's wrong with you? Well, we can fix that right away. What you got to do is go to my website, tarotbychristiana.com, and go to hit the button for newsletter and go ahead and subscribe. So we handle a different topic each week, and I'm always interested to know if there is a particular topic you would like me to cover. I'd be more than happy to do that. Just let me know. What should we do a newsletter on? Hey, Claire, nice to see you here. Glad you're here. So this week, I was thinking about, this is such an interesting week. It's Passover. It's Holy Week. In India, they just celebrated Holi. All of these holidays of spring. And of course, at the equinox, we celebrated Ostara. So everyone around the world, or at least in the Northern Hemisphere, is celebrating spring. And what's the universal theme there? In some ways, the universal theme is hope. And so I wanted to look at hope. And of course, there are many tarot cards that can signify hope. We see hope in the Star. We see hope in the Nine of Cups. We see hope in the Two of Wands. What other tarot cards do you see as speaking of hope? But I sort of feel like divination itself should be a tool of hope. Tarot itself should be a tool of hope. And I know that sometimes the job of a tarot reader, which I know well, is to not give you false hope. That if you are hoping for something that is not going to happen, it is the job of tarot, and it is the job of the tarot reader to take away that hope. False hope is no hope at all. But even when the thing that you had hoped for needs to be released, even when that happens, there is always something in which we can place our hope. And so I feel like, there is always hope. There may not always be hope for a particular situation, but in life, there is always hope. And it made me think of that John Lennon quote, "Everything will be okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end." And I think that's really true. We may not get everything that we hope for, but in the long run, everything will be okay. And there are always things that we can hope for and place our hope in. So what I wanted to do today, for those of you who are here, hey, baby cakes, nice to see you. Glad you're here. I would like to do some readings for you about the topic of hope. Is there something you're hoping for that you want to know, are your hopes in the right place? Are you looking to find hope? Are you wondering where shall you place your hope? In what shall you place your hope? Wherever your questions are around hope, go ahead and chat them in. And we will do some readings about hope. And I think, especially this springtime, spring is always the season of hope. We see the earth awaken, and we remember that after the winter, there is always spring. After the night, there is always dawn. And that's a good thing for us to remember, but especially now, when there has been so much difficulty that we have faced as a planet over this past year. Now more than ever, we need hope. So go ahead and phrase a question, and I will be happy to read for you on the topic of hope. Okay. Karen, you can always count on Karen for a great question on topic. Where am I not seeing the hope in my life? What am I not paying enough attention to? What a great question. And the answer is sort of this overarching thing, which is that you need to place your hope in the same place that you need to place your faith, which is the fact that no matter what the heck happens, you will have the power, the support, the intelligence, and the ability to get through it, and to get through it in a way that is just fine. You have to have hope in your own okayness no matter what. Betty says, is the star card the card of hope? It absolutely is. Along with others. I mean, I think most people would sort of say that the star is sort of the number one card to indicate hope. I think we find hope in the Fool. I think we find hope in the Sun and the World. I mean, I think there's a lot of cards in which we find hope. And that was kind of my point in the newsletter, is we find hope in all the cards. But yes, I think Betty's absolutely right. The star would be the number one card there. Okay. Baby cakes. Should I hope for children or not? I'm not hoping at the moment. Let's see. Should I hope for children? I'm going to say yes. I would say there is a very strong possibility that within the next 4 years, there will be at least one child in your life. Samantha, nice to see you. Is there hope for friendship with my ex-husband? Well, there's a lot of water under the bridge there, my friend. I feel like that may be asking for a lot of different reasons. I feel like maybe you could get to cordial, but I think that it would be very dangerous, actually, to try to hope for or cultivate a friendship there. I'm sorry, but it really does feel that way for more reasons than I'm even going to go into right here, right now. But in all sincerity, it does not really feel emotionally safe to try to cultivate a friendship there. Marian, where do I need to have more hope in my life? Marian, you have to have hope in your own ability to create exactly the life that you want for yourself. And the realization that you are actually doing that every day right now as we speak. Okay, Claire, how do I keep hopeful about my new project? I tend to get a bit scared that it may be a wasted effort, and I sincerely want to help others. So there's no reason to think it would be a wasted effort. You know, there's every reason to believe that your project will be successful. And honestly, it's not just about helping others. It's because you would like to do this project. And that's a fine thing too. You know, if anything, I would say, claim this as a project that will also help you, because it certainly will. Betty, I hope soon to get back to normal socializing, concerts. When will that start to happen again? Well, different times for different people and in different places. For you, Betty, I think it's still going to take a minute. I would say maybe round about July-ish. Hey, Nalini, nice to see you here. So from my perspective, I have answered every question. If you're just getting here, if you have not yet asked a question, or if I missed your question, we are doing questions today about hope. I do want to remind you that I am available for readings by phone, Skype, FaceTime, Messenger, or Zoom. And I am available right through the holiday weekend, so do not hesitate to reach out. You can go to my website, tarotbychristiana.com, and schedule directly there, or find my phone number there where you can text me or call me to schedule your reading. While you are there, you can also take a look at the events we have coming up, including a premium tarot class on Zoom, April 22nd. Get your ticket for that now. Would love to see you there. It's the Tarot Flow Workshop. We are going to be doing some hands-on exercises to help stimulate your flow in a reading. And of course, while you're there, make sure that you do subscribe to the newsletter. Samantha, thank you. Yes, indeed. I am coming to Tampa in June. I will be in the Tampa area June 11th through 14th, available for your small party. I'll be doing one-on-one readings by appointment. I can make house calls, or you can come see me at my Airbnb in Wesley Chapel. So please do reach out to make your appointment for that. Okay, very good. Hey, Smile Soul 20, nice to see you. Nancy, glad you're here. Okay, glad you're all here. Let me know if we are on last call for questions. So we are doing questions today on the topic of hope. If you're looking, should you or should you not have hope in something? If you're looking for where to put your hope, if you're looking for how to have more hope in your life, go ahead and ask the question. And we are on last call for your questions. I thank you so much for being here. I want to remind you, I will be live tomorrow at noon Eastern Time for the Friday weekly wrap up. That's where we pull individual cards for individual people to wrap up your week. I also want to remind you that if you look at the playlist for live tarot webinars, you will see the free classes we have done here and the meetups that we have had. And you'll also see the ones that are scheduled for this month. We have some great things scheduled for you this month. And so make sure you find them, and you can hit the little button so that you'll get a reminder so you don't miss anything at all. I want to thank you all so much for being here. I will look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you so much and have a great day. Just as I was about to sign off, here's a question from Nalini. Today, I don't feel very hopeful. Okay. Yeah, I can respond to that. What's going on? And I think that has everything to do with what you have been through and how much energy that has taken, and how there were a lot of things that you were hopeful for and hopeful about that did not at all turn out the way you wanted. And so I feel like that's kind of what you're dealing with. And so I feel like the thing you have to do is look to the future, not to the past. And recognize that when we look to the past, you learned a lot. Be grateful for what you learned, and be grateful for everything that you can do going forward. You got to put your hope in the future, not in the past. Hey, Judy Mnuchin, nice to see you. You're just coming in. I was just getting ready to sign off, but what we're doing is talking here about hope. That was the topic of the newsletter this week. So I will give folks a few more moments if you would like to formulate a question about hope. Where should you put your hope? What's your relationship with hope? Are you being too hopeful about this? Not enough hopeful about that? Those are the questions. Go ahead and formulate them. And I will tell you a story. Once I had a car. It was a green, beat-up VW Bug, and its name was Hope. And we used to say, there's always hope. But one day on a snowy evening on a highway, going from Connecticut to Boulder, Colorado, which I never did make it to Boulder, there was no longer hope. We threw a rod, and hope was no more. But, the lesson was there's always hope. There may not have always been that car, but there was always hope. And the story continued from there. All right. So once again, I will remind you to go to my website, tarotbychristiana.com, where you can sign up for the newsletter, sign up to take the Tarot Flow workshop, and book an appointment to have a reading with me. I want to thank all of you so much for being here. And so here's an interesting question, very specific, but one that has to do with hope. So we'll do it. Will Andy and Colleen arrive in time to see his grandmother? I feel like they will, but my guess is I think they will. All right. I want to thank you all so much. I will look forward to seeing you all soon.